Hello friends at home. In this video I will be doing today's language arts pages with you. I'm going to start with the color the right circle page. It looks like this and you will find it in your folder. Now before I get to these directions, I want to talk to you a little bit about digraphs. This week in Reading and Language Arts, we're going to be learning about digraphs. Now that sounds like a big scary word, digraph, but really all it means is when I take two letters and I bring them together and I end up with one sound, okay? So for example, if I were to take the letter K on its own, we all know that the letter K says K, K, K. If I were to take the letter N on its own, we know that the N says N, N, N. Sometimes, for some strange reason in our crazy English language, we put the K and the N together. Does anyone know what sound the K and the N together make? Connor? It's like the K is silent, like it's invisible. So when we have the digraph KN, it makes the like an N sound. Good job. All right, ready? If I have the letter M, what sound does that make? And if I have the letter B, what sound does that make? B, b, b. But if I put the M and the B together like this, does anybody know which sound it makes? Amelia? It's not the B, it's the So MB says And I'll give you some examples of these. I'll give you some examples of these in just a minute, but let's learn a few more, okay? If I have the letter W, what sound does W make, everyone? W, w, w. If I have the letter R, what sound does the R make? R. Does anyone know what happens if I put the W and the R together to make one sound? Camila? It's not the W, it's the we hear the R. Okay? Let's try another one. If I have the letter G, does anybody know what sound the letter G makes? G, G. What about the letter N? What sound does the letter N make? N, N, N. But what if I put the G and the N together? Does anyone know what sound it makes? Johnny? Nope. All right. These are the crazy, crazy, crazy digraphs. Now let me give you some examples of words that use these digraphs so we can practice reading them, okay? Let's take the KN digraph, okay? A KN digraph would be one like, I need you to tie a knot in this rope. And a knot would be spelled K-N-O-T. Or use this knife to butter your bread. K-N-I-F-E. We don't say knot and we don't say knife. When we see that K-N together, we have to remind ourselves to make the N sound. So this word is knot and this word is knife. So when you are reading and when you are writing, if you come across that K-N, you know that it makes the N sound. So don't sound it out. When you see K-N together, you say N. Okay? Hands down right now. Let's look at the MB, and I'll give you some MB words. Like I'm going to comb my hair. I don't say I'm going to comb my hair. I say I'm going to comb my hair, right? Mary had a little lamb. She didn't have a little lamb. She had a little lamb. So you need to start practicing knowing that when you see that MB together, it makes the sound, okay? Now let's look at our WR. I'm going to write a story. I'm going to write, not write a story, but write a story, okay? Another one on my door at Christmas time, I hang a wreath. Okay, I don't hang a wreath, I hang a wreath. So you need to remind yourself that when you see that WR, you say the sound. And then the other one we'll be learning about today and this week is the GN. And GN we use for words like, let's see, there's a gnome hanging out in the garden. Or let me think of another one here. Let me think of another one. How about those pesky bugs that hang out on the plants that we call gnats? We don't call them gnats, we call them gnats. So remember, when you see a word that begins with GN, you know that it's a N sound, not a G. Okay? So boys and girls, these are 4 of the digraphs we'll be practicing this week. We'll work on these in our Journeys books. We'll work on these in Language Arts. And so they're just important spelling patterns in our English language that you need to become aware of. So that way, when you are reading and you are writing, you're able to easily decode the word. So when you see KN, you're not going k-n, k-n, k-n. You know that KN says n, okay? It's like a silent K, a silent B, a silent G, and a silent W. Now that we know these digraphs, your paper today, as I showed you before, looks like this. The first thing I do is always the same. I take out my pencil and write down my name. Okay? Faith, I need your hand down right now, sweetheart. All right. You're going to go through and look at each picture and say the name of the picture. And then you're going to decide which of the 2 digraphs underneath the picture is used to write the spelling of that word. Once you decide, you color in the circle that matches the digraph used. So this first one, it's pointing to what finger on that hand? Emily? Thumb. The thumb. Now, which of these digraphs do we hear in thumb? MB. We don't call it a thumb. We call it a thumb. But it has the MB digraph. So you'll take your crayon or marker, color pencil or color pen, whatever you choose, and you'll color in MB. Thumb is spelled THUMB. Okay? This next one, we have a picture of a little girl and she's kneeling. Does anybody know which one of these we use to spell the word kneel? Do you know, Drew? KN. Excellent. So I will color the KN. Kneel is spelled KNEEL. Kneel. Oh no, the cars got into a wreck. A car wreck. Which one of these digraphs do I hear in the word wreck? Lillian? WR. Excellent. So boys and girls, you will go through the rest of these on your own. Look at the picture and decide what is it a picture of. and then decide which of the two digraphs is used to spell that word. When you're all finished coloring the circles, you know I'm going to ask you to go back and color the pictures because it's so important that we work on those muscles, that fine motor skill. Build that dexterity in your hands, okay? Someday one of you is going to be doing my hair. One of you is going to be doing my open heart surgery. Someday one of you is going to be wiring a computer and you're going to need those fine motor skills. One of you is going to fix my car. Like our friend Douglas told us today, his mama's car broke down, right? So she's gonna need a really good mechanic to fix her car. Well, if that mechanic doesn't have strong hands and fingers, are they gonna do a good job fixing her car? No. So I want you to color to work those muscles in your hands, okay? Just so there's no question about what these are pictures of, okay? I'm going to show you each picture and I'm going to tell you what it's a picture of. Okay? So this one is a wreath. This one is a sign. This is pointing to the knuckle. This part on your hand, those are called your knuckles. It's pointing to a knuckle. All right. This one is a knight in shining armor. This one looks like we have, what is he, a garden gnome? I don't know. What is he?
Or is it a farmer?
Farmer wouldn't work, though. Let's look at him up close. What is that guy?
Farmer. Plunger. Plunger person. Somebody that brings the car away.
He's a plumber. That's a plunger. He's someone he fixes pipes and clogs and drains and things. He's a plumber. Plumber. This one's a knot. Does anybody know what's happening here? That's dough, and she's using her hands to work the dough. Do you know what that's called? Sage, do you know what that's called? It's called kneading the dough. Kneading the dough. Okay? And then we've got a, what is this one? That's a gnat. Remember that pesky bug? It's called a gnat. And the last one is a lamb. So we have wreath, sign, knuckle, knight, plumber, knot, knead, gnat, lamb. I have no doubt you guys can do this. Have fun with it, and I look forward to seeing them. Bye, friends at home.
Bye.